all my friends are so keen to move out of home. And I think that's a thing common across the world. When you get to like 20 years old, you want to move out. I'm staying here as long as I can. I get free food. I get my washing done for me. That's lucky. A lot of people don't get that. I'm not moving out ever. If I can stay here till like 50, I will. I'm slaving off of these people, and I'll continue to do so, happily.
Okay, so his comments come as more young people between the ages of 18 and 30 are choosing to remain or return to their family home, and that's because they're of rental property and this crisis of availability of housing and things like that. But record low vacancy rates, the rising cost of living, repeated interest rate rises have created a perfect storm for young Aussies trying to get on the property ladder. Now, Katie, I'm sure we can relate in America, a lot of kids going back home. I mean, especially after trying to go to college and running up those bills, they're back with mom and dad.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is this a trend?
For sure it's a trend. It's been trending for a while now, I think. And it's interesting because he's from Australia and they have a lot of other issues going on down there in terms of costs of things too.
Yeah, they do.
It's become much more popular here in the U.S. for sure. I mean, way back when, decades and decades ago, like a man wouldn't leave his house until he would, go get married. Now, guys aren't even going to go get married. So, of course, they're going to just stay in their mom and dad's basement. I think he might have been being a little facetious on his little TikTok-y there to get views and such.
But, I
mean, he was very kind of like, haha about it.
Humorous.
But at the same time, mom there needs to cut him off in terms of stop doing his laundry.
Cut the umbilical cord.
Charge him rent. How about that? Charge him rent. I'm all about mom and dad and like taking like a little caring hand with their adult children to give them that extra like step to be able to get and afford apartment or a house. But you need to hold them accountable to something. Charge them rent, but just not as high as what it would be if he was living on his own. So that way he can save some of that money so that he can eventually actually build up like his own little bit of money for a down payment. So coddling him is going to do him nothing but keep him there.
Yeah, and this is in Australia, but we're talking to American parents as well. There are repercussions when your kids move back in. But anyway, a survey in Australia revealed that 13% of Australians, that's 858,000 households, have had an adult child move home in the last year. That's amazing.
Now, my question is going to be, and it's going to be the same thing like for here, is when you eventually maybe will move out and your parents age and they need to be taken care of, are you going to let them move in with you?